All right, we are recording. Good evening, everyone. I know that a bunch of you are still hopping on. Thank you for joining us tonight. Sorry about the code debacle. This will be recorded. Welcome to our amazing call, May 12th. We have Bill Mayer with us today, and I'm super excited to introduce you guys to Bill. I worked with him, I should say, for maybe about 6 months, about a year and a half ago. We were just actually trying to remember how long it had been when I talked to him. And Bill kind of came into my life at a time when I had not done any kind of personal development. I hadn't met Dave yet, and I hadn't really jumped into this whole Isagenix thing with 2 feet. But I was introduced to him, and really, he just opened my eyes to so many amazing things. As JoJo says, life is like one big bumper sticker after another, right? And I have so many bumper stickers all over my house from Bill. So, so many sayings, and I refer to them, I look at them all the time. And I was actually just going through my notebook. I've got so many pages. So anyway, Bill kind of, just opened my eyes, not necessarily even to Isagenix at first, but truly to kind of just falling in love with myself and appreciating myself and getting my desires in line, getting right with myself, and identifying my highest values, and going to gratitude, doing mirror work, all of this wonderful stuff that I had never even heard of before. So I'm so excited. Get your notebooks and your paper, because he is going to totally bless us tonight with some amazingness. I'm sure of it. But before we jump on, I just wanted to introduce you a little bit more with some fun facts that Bill gave to me. But one of the big things I know that he told me right off, which I thought was pretty darn awesome, is he's coached many celebrities, one of them being Oprah Winfrey. So he told me a few stories there, which was really cool. But that's kind of a neat fact that I wanted to share with you guys. Bill also ran across America from Miami to Los Angeles to raise money for the Olympic training centers. And he's the author of the best-selling book, The Magic in Asking the Right Questions. That was the picture that I had on the invitation today to the meeting. He's created the highly acclaimed 6 CD series called Master Your Questions, Master Your Life. And we're going to be talking about, the right questions tonight. So Bill was also the keynote speaker at the very first Isagenix convention, which was called Summer Splash 18 years ago. He's coached a lot of Isagenix millionaires, and he actually, he was in the Isagenix business for a while and achieved the rank of 5-star. So, he knows Isagenix. He's not just pretending to, understand the comp plan and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, Bill, I'd love to have you jump in and take over.
Yes, well, thank you for those kind words there, and still actively involved in Isagenix proudly, part of the Isagenix family. And first of all, I just want to acknowledge everybody on the call here, specifically the 3 major groups of the Balanced Life, Rock Your Life, and Forever Pack Business Group. You're a great united team. There's lots of other places you guys could be tonight, and obviously my dog is happy to be here as well, no extra charge. And the fact of the matter is that you're on this call indicates to me you're in the top, I was going to say 3% of people on the planet, probably top 1% who truly want to take your personal and business life to the next level. So high five and a hug for that. Night before, whenever I do a training like this, a teleconference call, I always ask myself the question, how can I best serve this group this evening? And based on what Crystal shared with me about the 3 groups, the answer that I got from Higher Self was to create 2 parts, and I could pre-frame what to expect in maybe the next 45 minutes. And the first 30 minutes, I want to do some mentoring, a little bit about Mr. Bill's personal growth journey, discovering the magic and ask the right questions. I'm going to condense a 3-hour seminar down to about 20 minutes so you can really fully embrace the power that gives you when you ask really good questions, and also share with you 3 habits of highly successful people in Isagenix and otherwise qualities that I've observed, so you can duplicate those if you choose to. And then we'll spend the last 15 minutes, part of this call was to address the magic and ask the right questions of how to create a positive attitude during challenging times. So I'm going to just throw out 3 questions. We'll open it up to people on the call and maybe get 2 or 3 people to answer the questions and see the power of guiding and directing your focus by the questions you ask yourself. Well, then Mr. Bill will give maybe a 2-minute call to action, and then we'll throw it back to you, Crystal, to put a wrap on the call. Does that sound okay with you?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Good. And it's for those on the call, just so you can time accordingly, because we started a little late, probably plan to getting closer to the hour, and I'm going to do the very best to keep your rapt attention so that you want to stay on the call and get the best possible value and keep it user-friendly as well. So just a little bit of a couple minutes on my background history of Mr. Bill's journey on discovering and creating the magic and ask the right questions. I've always viewed Isagenix as a personal growth journey with a compensation plan. And looking back at my life, Mr. Bill's life is really a personal growth journey with a compensation plan. And there's been over 50 years of probably 2,000 personal growth books, thousands of audios, countless seminars. And the journey all started when I was 15. So when I say 50 plus years, I add that together, it's probably older than most people on the call. It started as a 15-year-old skinny, insecure kid. And I was in a perfect environment, great family, voted captain of every sport, top 1% of my class, seemingly had it all together, but I was really very insecure. And I started at 15 asking myself the question, what's it all about? And I literally, as a 15-year-old, a conservative family, a conservative town, Islip, Loyola, New York, snuck out in the middle of the night to do things like transcendental meditation. And unfortunately, didn't find the answer there at 15. Then at 17, I was an exchange student in Australia, and actually even traveled across the Nullarbor Plain, spoke to some Aborigine, I don't know what you would call them, a nature healer with people, but I didn't find the answer down under to what's it all about either at 17. 26, I guess I was Forrest Gump before Forrest Gump, and actually ran across America to raise money for Olympic training centers. A lot of people perceive me as this martyr because I raised a lot of money, but I was really doing it for selfish reasons to address and answer the question, what's it all about? And you'd think after 2,992 miles running from Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Mexico, Arizona, that surely by the end of that 110 days, a marathon a day, that I'd figured out, which I didn't. So I continued my journey, continued to read, and it was at 35 years old when I first read the book Think and Grow Rich, and that forever changed my life. And the essence of that message for anybody who's read it is essentially you become what you think about. Your thoughts control your life. Everything originates with thought. And that hit home to me. I said, there's the answer. And I applied that for like 3-5 years and was getting really, really good results in my life. So much so that at age 40, I ended my tennis teaching career. I was actually, I guess, celebrity of the stars. People like Oprah Winfrey would fly me to Chicago to teach her and Stedman tennis. I remember around my 40th birthday, I went out there, and first of all, I asked myself the question on the flight over. I said, why is Oprah pay me $1,000 to teach her and Stedman 2 hours of tennis when they can do a local pro for $50? The answer was, first of all, she could afford it. Number 2 was that I used the tennis court as a metaphor in life, and I was kind of a life coach on the tennis court. And after our lessons, we'd sit out on the porch, and I'd converse with her and for maybe a couple hours, and she'd open up to me, and I'd find myself life coaching Oprah Winfrey. That weekend, flying back to San Diego, I made a life-changing decision. And that was, I said, well, if Oprah is kind of listening to what I'm saying, maybe this is a gift of mine, which it was, and it is, and it's what I'm happily, joyfully doing for the rest of my life. And got to San Diego, walked off the tennis court, probably one of the highest paid tennis pros in America, and just said, no more. And I went up to Lake Arrowhead and wrote my book, The Magic and Answer the Right Question. I wrote it in 21 days. It was divinely inspired. And then got out there, and actually just a fun fact also was, because of the inspiration of Think and Grow Rich, the original title was called Power Thinking, Control Your Thoughts, Control Your Destiny. And as I wrote the book, I realized you control your thoughts by the questions you ask yourself. And with that realization, I thought it was a more intriguing titled The Magic in Asking the Right Questions, because I discovered that you control your thoughts by the questions you ask yourself. As I was putting together the book, I said, well, think you're rich, you become what you think about, your thoughts control your life, everything originates with thought. How do you control your thoughts? 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 I realized I was asking myself a question. So I said, well, maybe this is a unique kind of a, I don't know if you want to call it a missing link to personal growth journey, but it was a simple, profound thing. And most personal growth info, new information, is just recycled information, slightly said in a different way. So I interviewed 100 people who read Think and Grow Rich. I said, true or false, your thoughts control your life, everything originates with thought. Everyone said absolutely yes. I asked them the question, how do you control your thoughts? Not one person responded, oh, you control your thoughts, you control your focus by the questions you ask yourself. I said, maybe I got something here. So they responded with like PMA, positive mental attitude, think good thoughts. Well, not good enough because 84% of your subconscious mind is negative, and the weeds will soon begin to grow. So I then created what I call the Power of Thinking Secret. 10 words that will positively transform your life forever. And I put it on an index card. I made it orange, and my goal was to hand it out to 1 million people before I left the planet. I've handed it out to over hundreds of thousands already, so it's pretty cool. And you might want to write down these 10 words. The discovery was the Power of Thinking Secret: my thoughts control my life, my questions control my thoughts. Better yet, maybe direct my thoughts, but we'll use control right now. My thoughts control my life, my questions control my thoughts. And I challenge you for the next 20 minutes to embrace the assumptive affirmation that if this is true, tell me if this makes sense. My thoughts control my life, my questions control my thoughts. Therefore, when I master my questions, I will master my life. And things that make you go, but essentially what I'm going to do in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to take you on a journey with me. I'm going to share with you how you master your questions, which helps you to master your focus, which helps you to master your emotions, which helps you to master your life. So let's start off with MQ, master questions. You might want to write this down. Number one, the quality of my life is determined by the quality of my questions. The quality of my life is determined by the quality of my questions. Now, if this must make sense, does it make sense to ask yourself great questions, empowering questions, feel-good questions, high vibrational questions all day long? And hopefully the answer is yes. Questions like, what am I thankful for? How can I make it fun? What's great about this? Like, let's start off with, what am I thankful for? Powerful. Why? Because to wake up with an attitude of gratitude and appreciation is the single greatest gift that you can give yourself to jumpstart your day in a positive way. Thank you, God, for the gift of life. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my family. Thank you for whatever. Not only what you focus on continues to expand, it just continues to grow, and you attract more things that you like into your life. So, powerful question, gratitude, always a go-to. What am I thankful for? Question number two, how can I make it fun? Powerful question. Why? Because far too often we take ourselves and our life way too seriously. We need to lighten up. Everyone on the call, if you knew that the vibrational frequency of fun, joy, and laughter and the vibrational frequency of prosperity and abundance were identical, would you have more fun growing your business? I want to get a picture of everybody on the call, hopefully laughing all the way to the bank, asking that question all day long, changing the way you focus in on things. Final question, what's great about this? What's great about this? I love this question. Why? Because it has to do with attitude. And attitude really is everything, because it's your viewpoint, your perspective, your interpretation of the events that are happening in your life, which determines how you feel. So my question to everybody on the call is kind of a soul-searching question. That is your attitude worth catching? If everybody in your family, your team had your attitude, would you be a happy camper? If the answer is yes, I'd say, great, God bless. If not, you might want to start asking yourself better questions like, what am I thankful for? Appreciative focus. How can I make it fun? Lighten up focus. What's great about this? Positive attitudinal focus. So hopefully you got out the gate very quickly that questions guide and direct your focus. So you master your questions, which then helps you to master your focus. Write this down if you would, please. Where my focus goes, my energy flows. Where my focus goes, my energy flows. What does this mean? It's pretty simple and profound. Where my focus goes, my energy flows. And if that's true, does it make sense to focus in on what you desire and want, not what you fear and don't want? Obviously, yes. So I'm going to share within a story hopefully you can relate to, because this gal was in Isagenix, one of the Isagenix millionaires. Her name was Suzanne Hart. And I did a teleconference like her a few years back, and she was really edifying the heck out of me in the introduction. I was pleasantly surprised. I only met her once, but she said, Bill, that those 7 words forever changed my life. You know, where my focus goes, my energy flows. She said, when I asked myself that, or made that statement, I then naturally followed up with, where is my focus right now? And I asked myself that question all day long, not like paranoid, but kind of, I guess, divinely conscious. And she said, what I realized that I was focusing more on lack than I was abundance. I was focusing more on fear than I was faith, and I was focusing more on what I didn't want than what I did want. She said, I took your advice and just started asking better questions, redirecting my focus towards abundance versus lack, faith versus fear, and what I did want versus what I didn't want. She said, magic happened, and probably contributed to becoming an Isagenix millionaire more than any other factor. I said, thank you very much. So hopefully you get in that short example there that where my focus goes, my energy flows, and you're the one that's guiding and directing the focus. So you master your questions, which helps you to master your focus, which helps you to master your emotions. Now, this is a biggie here, because everything in life is interpretation. Everything in life is interpretation. Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. How do you change the way you look at things? Ask yourself really good questions. How you feel is determined by what you focus on. What you focus on is determined by the questions you ask yourself. If you want to feel better, ask yourself better questions. I promise you, it's really, really important, because life can be an emotional roller coaster ride, but trust me, network marketing can be an emotional roller coaster ride on steroids. And you want to ask really good questions to focus on the things that are going to make you feel good, keep you in a higher vibration, so you can attract really good people into your business. So that one's a biggie. And that one is a very powerful reason is to start practicing the principle of asking yourself really good questions to guide and direct your focus. Master questions helps you to master your focus, which helps you to master your emotions, which helps you to master your life. Write this down if you would. The degree in which you live in harmony with your highest values is the degree to which you experience healthy, positive self-esteem. The degree to which you live in harmony with your highest values is the degree to which you will experience healthy, positive self-esteem. Right. Interesting thing, I've coached over 5,000 people, and when I do the intake call with a person, 99% of people, believe it or not, do not love themselves to the extent that they really should. Very often when you get to the value of love, kindness, and appreciation of others, and love, kindness, and appreciation of self, others always rate a little bit higher. I said, we might have a little self-esteem challenge out there. So I started reading for probably 3 years, hundreds of books on self-esteem, really looking for the answer to what's it all about. And what I discovered was a common theme thread. I guess it could be summarized by the Oscar Wilde quote. He says, to love oneself is the beginning of a lifelong romance. And because I'm the question guy, clarifying questions, I asked myself the question, then how can you love yourself, or how can you love yourself even more? Then went back to the 200 books again and found out within every one of them, everyone had one common ingredient, all of them. And the answer was to love yourself even more, be clear on, and live in harmony with your highest values. I said, wow, this might be the missing link in self-love and self-respect. So just for the fun of it, I interviewed 100 people that I knew were on a personal growth journey or were looking to expand, and then later 1,000. I asked them, you know, true or false, to love oneself, beginning of a lifelong romance? Everyone said, absolutely. Then I followed up with the question, how can you love yourself even more? Not one person said, oh, Bill, just be clear on, live in harmony with your highest values. So I said, wow, this is a gift to everybody on the call. 1 in 1,000 people. If you follow that formula, I promise you, you'll feel better and better about you. I promise you, you'll raise your vibration. I promise you, it'll impact your business there. So if that's the case, then you have to backpedal a little bit and then ask yourself the question, first of all, what do I value most in life? What's most important to me? Be very clear and specific on identifying those values. For example, my 9 highest values, and again, the call is recorded, so don't worry about, I'm kind of going through this quickly just so you can get the concept. My 9 highest values are vibrant health, spiritual connection, financial freedom. Number 4 is family focus, making a difference and contribution, fun, joy, and laughter. And then 7 through 9 is love, kindness, and appreciation, and personal growth, and then neat, orderly, and organized. And I didn't do that to impress you, like, oh, wow, you memorized his highest values. But I promise you, when you make decisions in life based on your hierarchy of values, you'll sleep very good at night. And you really want to master the art of creating a value-based day. Because it's my observation that well, put it this way, this is kind of fun fact, 90% of people on the planet don't even know what they value, so they can't stand a chance with self-love, self-respect. And of the 10% who even identify their values, very few of them are totally congruent and integrous with those. What I found is that the 1% who identify those values, who spend time creating intentionally a value-based day and then being congruent and integrous with those values, are by far the happiest, most content, blissful, self-actualized people on the planet, operating a high vibration, doing really good at whatever they do and enjoying the ride. So I challenge you to consider that as a possibility to look into, because I promise you your presence is your power. People will buy into you more than they buy into Isagenix. How you feel about you is really, really, really important in terms of the attractive factor. And there's nothing more important, you guys, nothing more important than when you wake up in the morning, you feel really good about you. And it's not narcissism or selfish, it's called self-love, self-respect. And that vibration that you're putting out to the universe is what you're getting back. The world is just mirror, quite honestly, where you're vibing at. And so kind of finalizing this to get really the importance of proactively, deliberately creating the value-based day the night before and putting in like vibrant health. Oh, I'm going to work out, do some healthy shakes, drink more water, spiritual connection, meditate this, and putting those things in your day. Is I was at actually an Isagenix kind of retreat 2 years ago in Connecticut, and this gal didn't quite get it because right before we went to break, I was talking about the importance of put your potatoes in first, the things you value the night before. And I said very succinctly, you know, if you want to manage your time, prioritize your schedule. I said, if you want to master your time, schedule your priorities. And this gal didn't quite get it because she came up at break time, and she was very excited because she had just invested $1,000 at a weekend retreat in time management. And she came up to me all excited, and she showed me her schedule the day before. She had a list of 21 items. Every one of them was checked off. I said, holy, because Zoli, her name was Susan. I said, Susan, that's really impressive. Just for the fun of it, of those 21 activities, how many of them have to do with your highest values? And she went over, she said 1, 2, and 3. So, okay. And then I took out my schedule the night before, and of my 17 waking hours, 15 of those hours were devoted to value-based activities. Who do you think had a better day? Who do you think was vibing on a higher plane? Who do you think was creating an incredible day from that vibration? Who was attracting more good things into their life? Who was enjoying the ride more? That's yours to think. So ponder that. If you want to manage your time, prioritize your schedule. If you want to master your time, schedule your priorities. So that's a very quick, condensed version, 3-hour seminar down to 20 minutes there, but I wanted to take you on a journey, Ms. Crystal, and team members out there. The beauty and the power of the magic and answer right questions. When you master your questions, you master your focus, which determines your feelings, which creates your life. Master questions, master focus, master emotions, master life is a blueprint for a happy, joyful life, and it works every time once you master these skills. So if you're on this call and you do buy into this Oscar Wilde quote, to love oneself, beginning of a lifelong romance, and you do believe that we absolutely are vibrational beings in a vibrational universe, then the single greatest moral and ethical responsibility for each and every person on the call is to create and maintain a higher vibration. Now, what is vibration? Vibration is a feeling. What is self-esteem? How you feel about you. So the better and better that you feel about you, the higher you vibe. The higher you vibe, the better you feel about you. It's a beautiful back and forth thing. I trust you, trust me, as you're growing your business, in my opinion, that vibration will determine your success more than anything else, because people, specifically regarding law of attraction, feed off of that. I'm not sure what you got, but I want some of that. And it truly is an inside-out journey. Most people focus in on have goals, like possessions that you value, temporary fix, or do goals, actions that you value. You know, people with this, what I created is called the Book of Being, or be goals. And those are feelings that you value, feelings like vibrant health, spiritual connection, financial freedom. Why? Because when you become more valuable to yourself, you can then do more for others, so you can have more, so you can give more. So hopefully you got that flavor. I think it was Lance Wallnau. He was a keynote speaker at Isagenix 7 years ago. He said, the single greatest freedom that you now have is to create the state you want anytime you want it, or create the vibration anytime you want it. And if that's true, which it is, then I challenge each one of you to take full responsibility for what you think and how you feel and the results that you create in life. And that you understand and appreciate that each and every one of you is like this radio tower. With every thought, with every feeling you now have, you're creating your destiny, including your Isagenix destiny. So I mentioned to you I was going to share with you 3 qualities of people to create an incredible day, what I call best day of your life so far, proactively, deliberately, not what direction the wind is blowing or whatever circumstance of your life. And the three things I've observed, top achievers, Isagenix, but quite honestly, life in general, and that is that they plan the night before, preferably with their value-based worksheet in hand. They have some morning rituals, specifically, and they live consciously and hopefully divinely conscious. So I think it was Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. So we want to create really good habits to create a blueprint for a happy, joyful life. We want to create habits to fall madly in love with yourself, for self-love, self-respect, because it's where everything is created from. So to do that, you want to master the art of planning the night before, again, preferably with your value-based worksheet in hand. Now, why? Two very good reasons is scientifically they've done hundreds, if not thousands of studies that support when you put pen to paper on the desired outcome into your daytime or your planner there, it plants a seed of intentionality in your subconscious mind, and the next day, not only do you get more done, you get 3 times more of the higher priority items. Is that a good thing? Number 2 is for those of you who would like to move from a life of struggle, move from the paradigm of the harder work, more money to make, move from a lot of resistance in your life there, and want to get the universe involved more regarding spiritual connection, is that when you plant that seed of intentionality in your subconscious mind before you go to bed, as you're sleeping, your subconscious mind communes or conspires with what's called superconsciousness, which is universal mind, which is infinite intelligence. Now, I didn't say minimal intelligence. I didn't say moderate intelligence. I said infinite intelligence, which implies there's hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of ways to get from point A to point B. We are so limited as human beings. We have 1 or 2 ways to get from point A to point B, and if it doesn't happen the way we wanted to do it, in the time frame that we do, we get resentful or frustrated, and sometimes we stop doing and we procrastinate. What if your job in life was to get clear on what you wanted, and you understand and could appreciate laws of attraction, how the universe really truly works, and the universe said to you, hey guys, you get clear on what you want, we'll figure out the how to. And as you're sleeping, we're going to begin to match you up with people and circumstances and opportunities to make your life easier. And then we're going to transfer a life of rowing the boat upstream and struggle and resistance. And we're going to help you turn the boat around and go downstream and be more inflow, less resistance, more ease, more grace, more fun, more money. Would that be a paradigm that you'd like to create? Well, you guys, it's kind of crazy once you get this, because that 15 minutes the night before is a whopping 1% of your day. But that 1% of your day will proactively, deliberately create the best day of your life so far, more than any other factor. I don't know if that might be time well spent. The other thing I mentioned was the part 2 of the story is the 15-minute feel-good morning rituals. I have specific things that I do, but the major outcome of the morning rituals, think of the word feel-good focus, is to focus on things that make you feel good that intentionally raise your vibration. Most people wake up in the morning and it's what direction the wind is blowing. It's the circumstance of the day. They get a bad email, the vibe goes down. Husband or wife says something good, it goes up. You know, what if proactively, deliberately, you could wake up at a 6 vibration and within 15 minutes be at a 9? Would that be a good thing? Would you be then perceiving the rest of your day in a better space? Would you be attracting more good things into your life? Would you be enjoying the ride more? If you were willing to, again, this is another whopping 1% of your day. So the bottom line is you can follow what Mr. Bill does. I do 5 minutes of gratitude, appreciative focus, and I do different things there. I do some mirror work with affirmations. For example, I go through my 9 highest values, and each one I proactively, deliberately, in the present moment in time with purpose, passion, and power, I declare those 9 values that I choose to be vibrantly healthy. I am vibrantly healthy. It feels so good to be vibrantly healthy. Yes. Thank you. And I just breathe in. I do that with spiritual connection. Financial freedom would be something like, I choose to be financially free. I am financially free. It feels so good to be financially free. Yes. Thank you. Hands in prayer. Take a nice deep breath and take in that value. Do that with all 9 values. I promise you, you'll raise your vibration. Let's say gratitude took you from a 6 to a 7. If you do it properly, you absolutely will. And then let's say if the mirror work, really getting into it, delivering your state-of-the-art performance, Robert De Niro, Academy Award-winning performance, because the universe is listening not to your words, but the feelings behind it. You want to be into it. You do that with your 9 values. I promise you'll be an 8 vibration. And then you reinforce, if you were very good or good girl or boy, you plan the night before. You just take out that day, and you have a lot of value-based activities. And you're looking down, every time you see a value-based activity, you might see your little symbol. You might have like a vibrant health symbol, and you put that next to it. And spiritual connection, it might be a cross. And you look down and you see 8 or 9 symbols representing that you're a 1%er who's proactively, deliberately creating a value-based state. Trust me, when you do that, you look down and you'll be feeling pretty good. You'll say, damn, Mr. Bill said the 1%er proactively, deliberately create a value-based state are by far the happiest, most content, blissful, self-actualized, high vibrational beings on the planet. And I promise you that's true. So you can do that deliberately, proactively. It's your choice. You know, moral and ethical responsibility, take responsibility to be the best version of you is to monitor that vibration. Okay, so now we're at an 8.5 or 9 vibration. Woohoo, we start off at a 6, proactively, deliberately. I think Zig Ziglar says, don't be a wandering generality, be a meaningful specific. You're being a meaningful specific. So you're in that higher vibration. Now, how do we stay there? Because life is going to try to get in the way. Network marketing is going to try to get in the way, trying to pull you off of that higher vibration. Well, you live consciously, more specifically divinely conscious, and that is simply aware of feel good, feel bad. It would probably be 15 or 20 minutes to really explain this, but understand that it's all about alignment, you guys. It's all about alignment. And when you feel good, you're in alignment with higher self. You're focusing on creating what you want. When you feel bad, it's usually because ego, edging God out, is coming in, and you experience one of the 32 negative emotions based on your old programs, and you're focusing on fear or doubt or worry or lack or anxiety or stress. Every one of them, you have this gut-wrenching feeling in your stomach, all 32 negative emotions. You don't have to figure out what it is. Just interpret that emotion differently. 99% of people resist it because it's painful, gut-wrenching feeling, worried about money, worried about this, worried about that, rejection, whatever it is. So the problem with that is the universe says whatever you resist persists and expands. So if you were worried about money, you could only create more angst about money and create and attract more lack into your life. You don't want to do that. So let's be a 1% or highly evolved, highly enlightened person who knows a different way of interpreting. Remember, Wayne Dyer said when you change the way you look at things, it's the things you look at change. What if you looked at that gut-wrenching feeling as a wonderful, marvelous gift from God? And that gift was a gift of awareness that, hey, you're focusing in on creating what you don't want, you're getting out of alignment, you're going to lower your vibration, and if you catch that at dominant 1, 2, or 3, and you do something like this, again, you can listen to it on the recording, you feel that gut-wrenching feeling in the stomach, you're angry, you're resentful, you're worried, you're whatever, thank you, God, for making me aware that I'm focusing in on creating what I do not want in my life right now. And in that moment, you'll stop the negative emotion immediately. Gratitude is a feel-good focus. So you go from feeling bad to feeling good. And oh, by the way, if it truly is all about alignment, trust me, Circuit Guys is all about alignment, you're connecting more with higher self. So you're triple dipping just by mastering that one skill. So it's just reinterpreting the event, it's reinterpreting the negative emotion, but that's the beauty of what Mr. Bill teaches about the magic and ask the right question. And when I talked about living divinely conscious in that present moment there, the reason I said divinely conscious, living consciously is living in the present moment, the now. Beautiful place to be. Buddhists say, be here now. Eckhart Tolle, the power of now, the gift of the present. But living divinely conscious, you guys, it's several levels above. Is living consciously in the present moment, the now, with the awareness that you have a higher self greater than you that speaks to you through emotion. Feel good, feel bad? All you have to do is listen. Trust me, it's a lot easier than trying to monitor your 50 to 60 to 70,000 thoughts each day. And the beauty of it is once you get this down, you guys, there's a lot of people who proclaim to be spiritually connected beings. And they go to church on Sunday, they meditate, they pray and they bless their food. And I check in, I say, okay, 4 hours, 5, maybe 6 hours are connected. If you're truly aware of feel good, feel bad, you are spiritually connected 24/7, 168 hours a week. It's a great place to be. And as you tap into that and begin to listen more to the messages you get from that, trust me, the action that you take to grow your Isagenix business will not be action that you feel like you need to take, have to take, or must take. It'll be action because you're inspired to take it, because it's in alignment with higher self, it's in alignment with your values. So, easy peasy lemon squeezy there, you guys. If you want to live a happy life and you buy into, Oscar Wilde quote, to love oneself, beginning of a lifelong romance, which I highly recommend that you do. How do you love yourself more? By being clear on living in harmony with your highest values. Identify those values. Then all you have to do is create a blueprint for a happy, joyful next 50 years. Number 1, plan the night before with your value-based worksheet in hand. Number 2, 15-minute feel-good focus to raise your vibration. And number 3, live divinely conscious, to monitor that vibration and be aware you're at. So my granddaughter Hannah Rose would say, Mr. Bill, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Those three things, cool, I can do that. My friend in New York would say, bada bing, bada boom. So as we move to the final 15 minutes of the call, Crystal, I'm going to ask permission if I can ask 3 questions, and these questions are designed, again, to just understand, appreciate the beauty of reinterpreting your life during challenging times. The theme of the call was the magic of ask right questions to create a positive attitude during challenging times. So I'm just going to throw out 3 very simple questions that can boom, 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 change your attitude and change the way you look at your day, change the way you look at your business. So, Crystal, as we move into the final 15 minutes, is it okay if I ask 3 questions one at a time, and then you can open it up to the chat groups, or better yet, if there's somebody chimes in and you're able to open up and they want to, give the answer to the question, that's a beautiful thing there. The only thing I would ask is just to be respectful, that we just want to, be respectful of everybody's time, is maybe just spend 1 minute, simple, clear, of the answer to the question, and that way we can get perhaps 2 or 3 answers to each one of these questions, just to get a flavor. So would that be okay with you, Crystal?
Yeah, that's perfect. I think everybody should be able to unmute themselves if they have an answer. So let's make this interactive.
Okay, we'll try. Interactive is better because then I can speak to the person, feel the person, love on the person. It's all good. So question number 1 is just the one that I gave you earlier, and it's a generic positive attitude, no question. And that's what's great about this. And what's great about this pandemic, what's great about the coronavirus, or if you say, I don't know anything, well, what could be great about this? So as I throw out that question, ponder, you guys, because just, from my perspective, there's a lot of hate out there in the world, there's a lot of separateness, there's a lot of, unclean environment, and the universe has a crazy way to get our attention, and it seems like there's being more love out there now, there's more togetherness, and the air is a little cleaner to breathe. So there's lots that's great about it, but I'd love to get intake of the people on the call, knowing that whoever responds, it increases dramatically the likelihood that your cycles will increase this week. This is just what I found, okay? Not as a bribe, but go ahead. So the first question number 1 is simply this: what's great about this, or what could be great about this? And you can chat box it, but preferably if somebody wants to chime in and participate and increase our cycles by participating, it's a good thing.
I would just say that I was so nervous about connecting with people on social media, and since this whole thing has happened, I have met some really great friends, and I'm just very grateful for it, and that's what's been really great, along with many other things.
And who's this?
Christina.
Hi, Christina. That's a great thing. Going to gratitude is probably the single best way to redirect your focus, appreciation. So you're pretty, I'm going to call you Miss Smarty Pants. Good job, right?
I'm paying attention.
Yeah, good. So anybody else on the call who just, if you feel comfortable, share your name and then just give me your response. What's great about this, or what could be great about this?
Chad, I just unmuted you. Go for it.
This is Chad, and I would say the connection with my family and the fact that my wife and I, our kids, we have dinners together every night. We make dinner together every night. We do so much more together because we're not running in 10 different directions. And it's something that my wife and I have wanted, we haven't realized is that we wanted. So the fact that it's here, it's right now, is very special, very special.
Beautiful. And by chance, would family be one of your top 3 values?
I'm grateful for.
Yeah. And would family be one of your top 3 values, Chad?
Oh, I think he froze. Darn.
Okay.
I'll answer.
That's all right.
Yes.
That's all right. I know that it is because I've coached Chad before, and it's in his top 3 for sure. And that's how you feel good about you. Doesn't harm me with the values. Why don't we do one more of this, then we'll go on to question
I
number
think I'm
2.
back.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else? I think you guys can unmute yourself if anybody else has something they want to say.
And if not, we'll just go on to question number 2. And question number 2 is, what have you learned from this pandemic, or what has the coronavirus taught you? And I might share a little poem with you of a great thing I received, but we'll see. What have you learned from this pandemic, or what has the coronavirus taught you? Anybody?
I'll go. This is Crystal.
Hey, Crystal.
I have learned that I feel more empowered by the nutrition and the fuel that I'm putting in my body. I feel I'm proud, I guess, to say that I'm not as scared as I thought I would be, and as many of my friends are, because I feel like I have some control.
Beautiful. And be careful, you might be getting your power back. You might be overcoming fear and things of that nature, which is going to help your business move forward. So be careful, you might be evolving and then become enlightened, and watch out. Very scary, but you can do it. So anybody else? That's a great response there. Of what have you learned? Go ahead.
I have one, Bill.
Who's this?
This is Easton Kelsey.
Hi,
So-
how are you?
Good. This was a big one for me. You know, I've always been into justice and freedom and politics. I actually ran for Congress 10 years ago in Arizona, so I was really big into all that, right? Studied the Constitution, this whole thing that's, you know, the pandemic and the conspiracy theories and all that stuff. And what I realized was that when you put your focus on that, you kind of get into this us versus them mentality, which I call duality, good versus evil, that type of thing. And I realized that's just not the vibration that I wanted to live in, because that doesn't get you to the highest levels of gratitude, love, and joy. And so I made a huge decision back about April 22nd that I was a big intention that I was going to step into polarity, which was love and light. And that's made all the difference for me. So anyway, that's a big, huge life lesson.
I love that. That's a great interpretation, and it's really using the challenge to just, you know, which leads us actually perfectly into the next question, because the one thing I do want to say on the pandemic and the corona is that be respectful of it, but you don't have to be fearful of it, because what you focus in on expands, and you attract more of what you don't want in your life. And when you go to fear, it emits this higher cholesterol, which raises, you know, it impacts your immune system. It actually lowers your immune system. So,
right. So I decided to observe and not absorb.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna translate things. I'm gonna have you simplify it for me. That's fantastic. That's great. So I'm gonna call you Mahatma too, maybe on the side. Question number 3 is, and this can be a little bit more business oriented, but how can I turn this temporary challenge into a business opportunity? Because I've known and coached a lot of great network marketers, and they just say now is a great opportunity because of blank, but I'll let you guys fill in the blank of how can you turn this temporary challenge into a business opportunity?
Hi, this is Lisa Grippentrag. I would say because it's giving us no distractions. It's giving us the opportunity to see those that really need some help, need some assistance, who want their health to be perfect. But it also gives us the opportunity. You know, when we were out working and doing the day-to-day hustle and bustle, there was a huge excuse of there's no time, and now we have tons of time. So it's given us a huge opportunity to actually get out there and educate and help people and just really serve.
Good. So you're into the making a difference in contribution value, which I'm sure is one of yours. I think Earl Nightingale said your rewards in life are an exact proportion to your service and contribution to others. So that's probably going to inspire you to do the business more. So that's a great observation there. So why don't we have one more answer to that question, and then being respectful of people's times, I'll just give it maybe a 2-minute call to action, and then hand it back to you, Crystal. So for that question, again, question number 3, is there anybody else who wants to respond of how can I turn this temporary challenge into an opportunity? Remembering that your cycles increase the more you participate. Or your cycles will increase the more you participate on these calls, and you're falling deeper and deeper to sleep, and your cycles will increase as you answer these questions.
Hey, Mr. Bill, it's Jen
Yes.
Ayotte.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Hi. I actually wanted to respond to all of the questions, and I was just waiting for the right time. I knew Chad and I had the same answer to the first question, so I let him speak. But so one of the things that I'm finding is that people who perhaps were not ready in the past for whatever reason are ready now, and staying consistent. I've had people come to me. I am definitely a social media person, and I've stayed consistent for the most part with that. And what I'm finding is that people that I've talked to a long time ago weren't quite ready, but now, just because of the circumstances, they're ready. They need the solution, and we have it. So that's what I'm finding.
So Isagenix doesn't offer maybe vibrant health solutions. It doesn't open the doors to financial freedom, I'm sure. So, but just in case it did, that it really is, that's a great way to turn this temporary challenge into an opportunity. So with that, Chris, I'm just ask your permission. Can I just do a 2-minute kind of, we're going to summarize, but I think I'm just going to go to a call to action there. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah, that's great. I took 4 pages of notes, so.
Okay, beautiful. So actually, let me tell you then specific, I'll tell you and everybody else can learn from that. With those notes that you did take to maximize the call, you want to go over the 5 minutes after the call when it's fresh in your mind and highlight those, I call them epiphanies, aha moments, wow moments, the things that really stood out to you most of all. And ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, what does that mean to me? So you personalize the message. And it's really important for you to do that. And then most importantly, how can I now apply this into my life? Because without the application, it's not worth anything. So what does this mean to me after you've highlighted it? And then how can I now apply this into my life? Now, this is a final observation. And this is for most other people. Of course, I know nobody on the call. But most other people, believe it or not, ask themselves unconscious, disempowering questions all day long. And they wonder why they're stuck where they're stuck. Truly, what will your life be like when you proactively, deliberately master the art of asking yourself empowering questions, feel-good questions, high vibrational questions all day long? And you master that art of controlling and directing your focus. What will your personal life be like, your vibration be like, your business be like? And I want to acknowledge that each one of you on the call is, as I mentioned earlier, you're like this radio tower. With every thought, with every feeling you now have, you are creating your destiny with your vibration, including your Isagenix destiny. And I challenge, therefore, everyone on the call to put on, we'll call it the fun big boy and big girl suspenders, and stand on top of the mountain or the rock or the desert or wherever you want to stand on top of, and declare to the universe with purpose, passion, and power, I, referring to yourself, I take full responsibility for what I think, how I feel, and the results I create in my life. I take full responsibility for what I think, how I feel, and the results I create in my life. When you take and move in that direction, I promise you, you'll move from blame and victim. You'll empower your life to create whatever it is that you want. And then finally, I ask you to embrace what Peter Drucker said. He said the best way to predict the future is to create it. And Mr. Bills, reaffirms that the very best way to create it is through the magic in asking the right questions. So with that, I'm going to give back to you there, and you can kind of put a wrap, and if you have any other final questions, Krista, go for it.
Wow, yeah. I mean, I could, gosh, There's so much good stuff here, Bill, and I actually like just remembered things that I have stopped doing since we talked. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I cannot wait to start writing all over my mirror again because I have not been doing that for a while. So that was awesome. I know you've got to go. I appreciate you sticking around a little bit later than we talked about, but I know I've listened to you in the past, and there's times when sometimes you have a book or a coaching special. I didn't know if there's anybody here that resonated that might want to do a little bit more with you, if there's anything that you could offer for this group tonight.
Yeah, that's a good question, and I'm happy to answer that because this is what I love to do. This is what I was born to do, and it brings me the most joy to impact people's lives in a positive way. So tonight I'm offering, my books are in back order, so I'm offering simply a half price coaching special, and that is you get 1 hour personal coaching with Mr. Bill. Normally it's $200 for $100. Actually, I like the number 7. It's a prosperity number. For $97, you get an hour of coaching with Mr. Bill. And actually, as an added bonus, the first 3 people who call me this evening, that want to take advantage of this opportunity is they get an hour and a half instead of an hour, because the hour goes by pretty quickly, and that is also $97, and that's a $300 value. So how does the call work, and what does it look like? You call me, and you actually call me on my landline. You want to write down this number. It's 760-643-9377. That's 760-643-9377. And we set up a time for the call. And then the night before a call, you simply address and answer this question and email your response. The question is, this is referring to you, what are your 3 major challenges in life right now? What are your 3 major challenges in life right now? And they don't have to be Isagenix related. In fact, I encourage them not to be, because we'll get around to Isagenix. And usually it's personal stuff that holds us back. I always come from the space of get right with you, get right with Isagenix there. So you send that over. We're going to have many people say, and I say this humbly, that that 1 hour or hour and a half is the single most powerful transformational hour of their Isagenix journey. So if your hand is up for some personal growth, momentum in your business, et cetera, there, please take advantage of that. So finalizing the summary, today's special, half price, 1 hour, $97, the first 3 call, hour and a half, and leave your name, phone number, and best time to get back to you if I don't pick up. And a big thank you to Crystal and to also specifically Balanced Life, Rock Your Life, Forever Pack Business Group. And I know that the greatest gift is the gift of your time. You've given me probably close to an hour of your time, and I really, really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you've gotten value. My intention was to give extraordinary value, that you leave with skill sets to really help you right now to take your personal and business life to the next level. So I'm looking forward to connecting whoever resonated with this message, and lots of love and blessings to everybody. And back to you, Crystal. Enjoyed our time together.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bill. This was great. Have a wonderful night.
Okay. Pip, pip, cheerio. God bless. See you.
Thank
Good
you,
night,
thank you.
everyone. Thanks
Thank
for
you, everyone.
joining.
Thank you.
You found some value. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you took notes. Listen to the recording. I will put it in Forever Pack Business, and JoJo will put it in her page too. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Because there was a little challenge at the beginning, the people that call in tomorrow can take advantage of that as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Bill.
Thanks, Mr.
Bye-bye.
Bill.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Crystal.
You're welcome. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I put the wrong number on there. Well, I can believe it. Life is crazy.
No worries.
Great. It's all good.
Life
Dude, no one
happens.
on,
This is insane. Where's everybody?
everyone on here goes with the flow.
Yeah, we got it. All right. Thank you guys. Thanks for coming on. I hope that you got some value.
Thanks, Crystal. This
Okay,
was
Mary.
awesome.
All right. Have a great night.
Thanks, Crystal.
Welcome.
Thank you, Crystal.
Namaste.